Hey, what is going on everyone? Jason here at Waddle and welcome back to another video. So for today I'm actually going to make an informative video, which is not something I usually do, but I figured since I have all the footage already, why not just give it a shot? So for today I'm going to be arguing why UCLA is the #1 university in the US. And yeah, this video was originally part of a collaboration I did with Hafu, in which he put UCLA and UC Berkeley in a head-to-head battle. I of course debated for Team UCLA, while Chris Jariza, another YouTuber from UC Berkeley, debated his side of the story. So yeah, definitely go check that video out when you're done watching this one. But in this video, I will be going into a lot more detail about UCLA as compared to Hafu in his video. And one final thing that I should probably say before jumping into any of my arguments is that I personally do not have a problem with UC Berkeley at all. This video was made for the purpose of information only and to have a little friendly fun and games competition between them. I'm very grateful that UC Berkeley accepted me when I applied there back in March. And as some of you guys might know, UC Berkeley might have a special place in my heart, mainly because I have a poster of UC Berkeley in my own bedroom, and the fact that I have a Campanelli sticker on my current laptop as well. But yeah, without further ado, let's explain to you guys why UCLA is the #1 public university and not UC Berkeley. Starting with the campus, UCLA last year in 2019 just celebrated their 100th anniversary. Compared to other college campuses, UCLA actually is around a smaller campus. That's completely understandable because of the fact that UCLA is located pretty much in the rich area of Los Angeles, so land prices here are just absolutely expensive. So one really interesting thing that I find about UCLA is that you can come across people pretty much from all walks of life, and it's just a super amazing community to be a part of. Like many other college campuses across the US, UCLA, as always, is still rapidly developing. It's commonly known that UCLA stands for under construction like always, which is why right now the university is currently building new residential buildings for the class of 2026, and hopefully some new lecture halls, as UCLA has just received a donation of $100 million to the School of Engineering. But really, what makes UCLA stand out way more than UC Berkeley is because of the fact that UCLA has been ranked the #1 dining hall within all of the US in 3 of the last 4 years. While on the other hand, Berkeley here has been ranked number 521st. So UCLA over here has 8 total dining halls. 4 of them are basically dine-in dining halls, and you can have as much food as you would like. And you can stay in there for 3 to 4 hours if you so please. While the other 4 are takeout restaurants in which you can just quickly grab a meal before you return to study. Each of these dining halls are distinctive in the sense that they are categorized by the type of food that they serve. UCLA has dining halls that serve Italian food, American food, Asian food, and the one behind me serves possibly the healthiest food that you can find on campus. Every single one of these dining halls have a unique daily menu by every meal, so it's really nice that you can also check in advance on what type of food that they're serving today. So why go to Berkeley, in which I have heard horror stories in which the dining halls have ran out of food, and come here instead, in which you can pretty much have an all-you-can-eat buffet every single day if you choose. That's pretty much all about dining. Let's move on to student life. So being a large public university, UCLA naturally has tons of clubs and activities in which you can join. They can vary by topic, so you may be able to join some fun clubs such as film club, in which they just chill around and watch movies, or even dance club to get yourself fit. While at the same time, there's a ton of different clubs relating to majors, and within those clubs, many of them actually go out to the LA community and teach kids relating to science. You can always find new clubs to join if you're interested by walking through Bruin Walk, in which clubs of all sorts will be looking for new and fresh faces to join, or head down to the club fair, in which it will happen twice a year, where most of the clubs will have a booth in which you can put your email on their mailing list and talk to people within those clubs to see what's it like. Overall, the average UCLA student, I believe, is very studious. They love studying, that's why they're at the #1 public university in the US. But at the same time, one main difference between UCLA and Berkeley is the fact that UCLA does know how to have fun. So usually every week between Thursday and Saturday, there will always be some type of party in which you can go to if you're down for that. One thing to keep in mind though, because UCLA is the #1 public university, things can get pretty stressful throughout the quarter system. And yes, UCLA every year runs on a 3-quarter system: fall, winter, and spring. Each of them lasts for a total of 11 weeks, with weeks 1 through 10 and then a finals week. So the pace for a lot of these classes are super fast, but sometimes I find that extra pressure really helpful, in the sense that it kind of keeps you responsible in doing work, because if you don't, you will have a hard time catching up. One big difference between UCLA and UC Berkeley with their student life is that I believe that UCLA is a lot more friendlier than UC Berkeley. I feel like at UC Berkeley you'll come across a lot of insanely competitive people and just overall be surrounded by a culture that is a lot more toxic as well. While here at UCLA, we have tons of projects in which we have to collaborate on. So overall, I feel like we just have a lot more positive things when it comes to learning experiences. Now let's go and dive deeper into academics. So UCLA is primarily a pre-med, pre-health, and life science college. However, UCLA is also very good at computer science and engineering, in the sense that UCLA and Stanford actually created the internet. Like I've said before, UCLA runs on the quarter system, so the courses here are very challenging and they go by really fast. But on the bright side of that, because they go by really fast and you have 3 quarters in a school year, you have plenty of opportunities to raise your GPA in case you didn't do well on one of the classes. And even though UCLA is such a big campus with so many students, it's actually really surprising that the professors here are readily available to you. Almost all the professors here have office hours every week in which you can pretty much hold a one-to-one conversation with them. And basically that gets you not only more opportunities to know them as a person, but also plenty of times to be able to catch up on the work that you struggle in. And unlike Berkeley, UCLA here for the most part doesn't have grade deflation. I've talked to plenty of second and third year students and they did not have any trouble when it comes to grades. It's easier to collaborate with a ton of people here, and overall you would just compete a lot less than if you go to Berkeley. Alright, now let's go talk more about the location of UCLA. Talking more about location now, UCLA is located within the west side of Los Angeles, and honestly, this is probably the nicest area you can ever have a college at. West of UCLA, we have Santa Monica. North of UCLA, we have Bel Air. A little bit to the east, we have Beverly Hills. And this is like the perfect place in which everyone wants to live at. So by going to UCLA, you are able to live in such a nice neighborhood. And there are plenty of different things to do when you're off campus. You can always go to a nearby restaurant. We have a Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out, and there's a sandwich shop called Fat Sal's, in which they serve just absolutely amazing sandwiches. And furthermore, just a 10-minute drive can get you to the nearest mall, in which that mall has even more food places such as 85 Degrees and Shake Shack. So for all you Eastern US people and you're missing home, UCLA can bring your home to you. Besides that, because UCLA has such a large Asian population, there are plenty of boba shops nearby too. All within walking distance, you can get shared tea, cocoa, and even boba time. Even though LA is a really big city and the traffic here is absolutely terrible, there's still many easy options to get around the city. For starters, you can always take an Uber or Lyft to get from point A to point B. And what's really nice is that if you're a UCLA student, you actually get discounts on your Lyft rides. On the streets of LA, you can always find a Bird or a Lyft scooter, and that definitely is a nice and convenient way in which you can travel between 2 points. And finally, if you think that those 2 options are a bit pricey, You can always take public transport. Even though it does take longer for you to reach the destinations that you want to go to, public transport is nice in the sense that it's only $1 to ride the bus. So finally, now let's talk about some UCLA student traditions. Compared to some other schools, UCLA probably doesn't have the most school spirit, and that's just because of a ton of factors like being the #1 public university, so we're all really busy trying to study while at the same time have a social life. Some of my favorite UCLA traditions are definitely the 8 clap, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, U, C, L, A, UCLA, fight, fight, fight. And the BSC bonfire, in which as a whole we would donate red clothing to like the student-run organization, in which they would just pile up all the red and USC clothing and just burn it up the Friday leading up to the big game. Other than that, we also have traditions such as ice sliding at Jan Step and the undie run, in which people actually just run around campus in their underwears the Wednesday of finals week. We also have an amazing student section called The Den, in which they run a bunch of things when it comes to home football and basketball games. So in the end, when it comes to the UCLA versus UC Berkeley battle, UCLA is clearly the favorite right here. All of the students right here have an amazing social life. The food here is absolutely amazing. And most importantly, here at UCLA, you get to experience warm weather and just sunshine every day. So if you are currently making the tough choice between UC Berkeley and UCLA, just know that we beat Berkeley 3 times in a row on the US News ranking. I rest my case, and back to you, Hafu.